Hello, my name is Dr. George Walters-Sleyon. I want to talk to you and extend an invitation to you to attend, if you're in Boston, to attend a very important public presentation and discussion. This presentation is entitled Frederick Douglass versus Thomas Jefferson. Think about it. Frederick Douglass versus Thomas Jefferson. It will be exploring their philosophies and epistemology. Epistemology has a lot to do with their theories of knowledge, the theories of knowledge. Now, you might ask the question, why Frederick Douglass versus Thomas Jefferson? One, the United States is celebrating 250 years of independence. Isn't it important for us to look at the intellectual development of that independence and the intellectual or the conceptualization of that notion, the philosophy of that independence? And what was some of the prevailing consciousness, mindset associated with that era of independence, the emergence of that independence? Furthermore, isn't it important for us to look at the icons who profoundly influenced the emergence of the American racial consciousness, the socio-political economic consciousness of the United States? So, Thomas Jefferson and Frederick Douglass are among the most influential icons of American intellectual history. Thomas Jefferson was the third president of the United States, but he was also the governor of Virginia, and he was the Secretary of Congress, and he's well associated with constructing what is referred to as the Declaration of Independence, that all men are created equal, or men and women are created equal. However, what is most profound about Douglas, Thomas Jefferson, and most embarrassing to his scholars, is the fact that Thomas Jefferson was also a slave trader. Thomas Jefferson was a slave trader in Virginia and Monticello. He had his own slave plantation in Monticello. On the other hand, Frederick Douglass was a slave who taught himself meticulously how to read at a time when the law prevented Black people or slaves from being taught how to read. And the law in certain parts of the United States was quite explicit that whoever taught a slave to read could be fined. Thomas Jefferson would emerge out, Frederick Douglass would emerge out of that worldview, teaching himself how to read. And he would develop, not only read the prevailing text, philosophical text of the Enlightenment era, the socio-political text, so as to put him on the stage with great intellectual figures. And one of those texts that that we will be talking about is his 4th of July speech and other profound texts that he wrote. We'll be looking at Thomas Jefferson, Douglass concept, okay? Their concept of humanity, their concept of virtue, their concepts of civility, their concepts of race, their concepts of intelligence, etc. Now, what is very important about Thomas Jefferson also It's the fact that Thomas Jefferson would equate as an enlightenment, quote unquote, enlightenment father. Thomas Jefferson would equate race or intelligence with race. That superior race consists of or contain or have superior intelligence. And that inferior races are not as intelligent as superior races. Now, he'll go on to argue that, of course, he will say and go on to argue that Black intelligence is inferior to white intelligence. And all non-Eurocentric worldviews or races are inferior to whites, thus they have inferior intellectual capacity. This presentation takes place on Monday, July 20th in Boston, if you're in Boston. And it starts at 5:30. It will take place at the Shaw-Roxbury Boston Public Library at Nubius Square, which is formerly Dudley Square. Okay, and there are transportation buses that go there. Again, this presentation explores the philosophies and epistemology of Frederick Douglass and Thomas Jefferson. One was a slave trader, the other one was a slave. One was the president of the United States, the other was not. He was simply a social activist. One had access to educational resources. One literally taught himself how to read. We'll be looking at their concepts of race, their concepts of humanity. I want to encourage you to be a part, to attend this public discussion on Monday if you are able. It's a teaching one. It will be engaging. Come prepared to engage with other people. Come prepared to with questions. With respect to my background, teach intro to philosophy, applied ethics, world religions, sociology, and criminology, criminal justice as well at Bunker Hill Community College. I have a PhD from the University of Edinburgh in Scotland, my first and second masters from Boston University. So I want to encourage you. However, this presentation will also be based on my book. It'll also be based on my book called The Rush for Black Diamonds. The Rush for Black Diamonds, Volume 1 and Volume 2. The Rush for Black Diamonds refer to enslaved Black Africans. And you see at the top here, Thomas Jefferson and John Locke. I will be mentioning them, but also you see Douglass and Du Bois. And the intellectual history of the United States with respect to race, with respect to socio-cultural development and emergence, and at the time when the American independence, quote unquote, was emerging, and post-civil rights, civil war era, Blacks are always, Black intellectuals always find themselves in a position to deconstruct racial, socio-political ideologies. I want to encourage you to attend this conversation. It's a Monday at 5:30 at the Shaw-Roxbury Public Library. Let me just put it up again. And you can invite others as well. Take down the information, share it, and you can go on my website, which is georgewaltersland.com, and access the flyer as well. But thank you so much. And I hope you'll be able to attend this very important public discussion and to share it with others as well. Have a wonderful day. And thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you on Monday if you are in Boston. It's free and you don't have to register for it at all. Thank you.